say real wars are fought and waged for principles and not for money. And men and women who join church and come into church to be popular because the Joneses belong there. Or they change their church from a little church to a big church. You're doing it for selfish motive, and the right principle's not behind it. You should be willing to stand at the battlefront. In this tabernacle here, when things go wrong, and you men and you women run and go over somewhere else or lay out till the little fuss of the stew is over, there's something wrong with your experience. Right. We have a custom here. We have an order here. This church is based upon the principles of the Bible. If there's somebody you're not doing right, and you think they're not, you go to him and talk to him. If you can't reconcile him, then take some brother with you. One or two more. If he won't be reconciled then tell it to the church. And the church will dismiss him. Have no more fellowship with him. And Jesus said, whatever you loose on earth, I'll loose in heaven. That's the reason you have so much troubles. Because you don't follow the Bible principles. Amen. If somebody in the church is causing a disturbance or something going wrong, it's not your duty to go talk about that man or that woman. It's your duty to go to that man or woman and tell him his error. And if he won't hear you, take some other one with you. If you won't hear that, then the church looses him. Jesus said, what you loose on earth, I'll loose in heaven. What you bind on earth, I'll bind in heaven. That's the power of the church. You're not long ago a good preacher friend of mine. He had a boy. And that boy had been going to church, his own church. He got to a place where he started running around with a little old girl who smoked and drank and carried on. Preacher said, of course, that's his business. A very bosom friend of mine and a nice boy. But he got all infatuated with some young woman. And she'd been married, had some children. Her husband was living. He was afraid he was going to have that boy would marry her. So their brother was all tore up. And he said to me, Brother Branham, I want you to go to this certain boy of mine. I want you to talk to him. I said, Brother, I almost called his name. You have a better way. Don't send me. If the boy's not living up and the church is saw him doing wrong, then it's a thing for the church to do this business. That's left with the church. And the church goes over and tells him. So he took a brother and went over and told him. And he got back at the brother, let him know he was tending to his own business, for him to do the same. He took another brother, two deacons, went over and told the boy. He wouldn't listen to it. They told it to the church. And he never come for several nights to be reconciled to the church after his sin was told before the church. Then the church loosed him. And about a month from then, he was stricken down with pneumonia. And the doctor said there's not a chance in the world for him to live. Then he crawled back. God knows how to do it. We try to do it in ourselves. Oh, you're kick so-and-so out of church. You're do this, that, and the other. Have you done your part as a church towards it? There you are. That's the way to make them crawl back. Turn them over to the devil one time. What Paul say about this man down there was living with his stepmother? They couldn't get him reconciled, said turn him over to the devil. Watch what happens. And in the next letter Paul wrote, this man had got straightened out. Sure, God has a way of doing these things if we'll just follow His rules. If something goes wrong in the church, if it's amongst the congregation, each one of you brothers is on the deacon board. One of you deacons don't behave. The other deacons come and have a meeting. Try to reconcile a brother. Tell him what he's doing, or one of you members, whatever you are. Then it's to be brought before him. If he won't do it, then come tell the pastor. Then he's loose from the church, and then let him be as a heathen and a publican. Then watch the Lord go to work on him. See? That's when he comes back to himself. That's when he goes to crawling in. But we try to do it ourselves, try to do everything the way we should do it. Now, we never make a success. Now, this Melchisedec